Alright guys, this is another one of my regional reports slash deck profiles. I was at Aldershot yesterday and I was again playing Lightsworn. I did come 52nd place, but I think yesterday I performed actually quite well. I just think that 52nd place just sort of doesn't do justice, but sometimes it's just the way it goes. So, but I think it was, it was enjoyable. I can't really complain because I had some really fun matches, and I'll just go through the deck and then I'll go through what I faced off against. So, start off with freeze. We have got triple Judgment Dragon, triple Lumina, triple Raiden, and triple Eclipse Wyvern. Sort of standard these days in Lightsworn. Now we'll go to the 2. Go double Lila, spell trap removal. I love that. And I did a quite funny combo with it. I went Lumina, used Lumina's effect into Lila. Lila's effect destroy a spell trap card, and I had a glow up bulb engrave. So just special summon that on the field with its effect. Then went into Crimson Blader, and I think it might have been a dimensional prison that I hit. So it was a good hit that I got with Lila for its effect. Minerva. I actually used its search effect for a Graganif, and it turned out that actually won me a game against Nekroz. Just searching out the Graganif, and I was able to tribute it next turn onto the field. Double Diabolus. Loved it against Evil Swarm, just kept bouncing back his spell trap cards. He kept putting Pandemic on top of his deck. It won me one of my games against Evil Swarm. Double Honest. I think this deck has improved massively with Double Honest. It's, it did struggle with just the one at times when they got powerful monsters out on the field, which you just couldn't deal with. That is now helping this deck out an awful lot. Now go on to the ones. One Graganif. That was the MVP of the day in my main deck. It was way better than Judgment Dragon. It just wrecked decks. Next one, we play one Felice. I used its tribute effect and it worked. Yay! One Jane, one Aaron. That helped me get out of a Djinn lock against Nekroz. He summoned Clausulus, had it in defense mode. Just summoned Aaron. It got rid of the Djinn lock. One Raikou, one Garroth, one glow up bulb. That was a great addition to my deck, and traded that with Harvey last week. I just want to thank him because that was just a card this deck really needed. And for my Dragon Rulers, it was one Redox, one Tempest, and one Blaster. And I very almost pulled off a really neat little move against Nekroz in my final match with Redox, because I had Redox and Glow Up Bulb in hand, in my starting hand, and I probably could have Blade locked in first turn had he not had Vanity's Emptiness on the field, because I had Raiden as well, so that would hopefully when I use its effect it would mill a monster, which it did. So it would have been possible to use Redox discard effect, special summon itself, and then use Glow Up Bulb to special summon itself on the field. So he very nearly got that off. It was just Vanity's Emptiness was a bit of a problem because I came across it so many times yesterday. Next up we will move on to our spell cards. Triple Rotor. I think that has just helped a lot with consistency. You just search out your Raiden, or if you need Aaron, which I I was thinking about when I got Gin locked, if I could draw into a Rota, I would use Rota to search the Aaron. But Rota, you know, I didn't need it in that situation, but if it came across I could have used it. It just happened to be I drew it into Aaron before I got to the Rota. Triple recharge standard and 1 charge of the Light Brigade. And our trap card is double Phoenix Wing and double Breakthrough Skill. Phoenix Wing I was siding out most games because I had Nekroz so many times. It's not very useful against Nekroz. Move on to the extra deck. I'll just grab it. For my rank 4s I played a 101 and Castell. I didn't make either of them all day. With hindsight I would take one out. Probably keep Castell. You know, sometimes it's just the way it goes. You just don't make them. Double Draco sack. Made them plenty of times. You know, sometimes just having those few extra cards on the field with the tokens is a great help. Big Eye, I used that against Nekroz in one match. Stole his Rhapsody, equipped it onto Big Eye. It was just too much for him. And Divine Dragon Felgrand, Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. I was thinking about making it at one point against Nekroz, but he then just scooped up because I think he knew what I was going for. So I was about to make it, but oh well. Synchros, 1 Archimedes, 1 YuGiOh. Ancient Sacred Wyvern was, I'd probably say, the MVP of the extra deck. I think I made it about 5 times. It really helped with Nekroz, you know, when I was using it offensively and defensively. There was one game, it was the last round. He had Unicorn on the field, and he did attack into it, got over it, special summoned itself with its effect. Then brought out Graganith, and I think it came on the field at 35. And after 2 turns, Graganith then got up to 41, and it was just too much for him to handle. Black Rose didn't make it, but it's the JD without the cost, and it can bait out cards. Michael, I made it a few times. Yazi won me against Evil Swarm. He just couldn't target it. He did have a compulse set, but he just couldn't target it. Blader, I think Blader would have been more useful if Valkyrus wasn't a thing, because there were just so many times I'd just go for the Blader and he would just Valkyrus. But I did pull it off in round 5 against Nekroz. It just shut him down, and I did actually use it in round 6 against Volcanics as well, because I knew he had Blaster and Grave. So it's still a very useful card. 1 Mistworm, never made it, but you know, just being able to bounce 3 cards is great. Star Eater, made it once I think, but with hindsight with the extra deck I would take out 101 and add either a Fort Ruler or a Stardust. But that will be our extra deck. Moving on to the side deck, we have triple Iron Wall. Originally I was going to side that. I sided that because of Infernoids, but it turned out to be very useful against Dark Law and against Nekroz. But Dark Law, 9 times out of 10 you get that out, you're going to win. And also against Infernoids, they can't do much. Triple Royal Decree, great addition. I do want to main deck that. It's just being able to shut down those vanities is a great move. But you know, trap cards aren't really. You're not coming across so many trap heavy decks because of Denko these days. Triple MST staple. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Never sided into it, nor did I side into Double Fairy Wind. XYZ Encore was a really good side against Evil Swarm, because he summoned Ophion, straight away, XYZ Encore, he had Macro on the field, he just lost his monsters. So that will do the deck. Just get on to what I faced off. First off was against a burn deck. I played against this person in Southampton last year and won 2-0 there, and I beat her 2-0 this time. It was a bit of a bitch with the Fossil Diner, but we got round that. Round 2 was Nekroz, he won 2-1. That one, in game 2 I had Graganith and Ancient Sacred Wyvern on the field at the same time. They were both on 38 and he just could not deal with both of them on that high attack. Round 3 was Nekroz. I got absolutely battered. His first game, I went first. On turn 2 he just got a field full of Nekroz. It was just straight OTK. And then it was pretty similar in the second game. It wasn't so many monsters, it went a few more turns, but just that Trish, you know, early game Trish is too good against this deck. Round 4 was Evil Swarm. He made a bit of a misplay in the first game. Had Castor and Ophion on the field. I had Minerva and I had an Honest in hand. He attacked with the Castor first, I dropped the Honest, and then for some reason he then attacked with Ophion and lost that. And very next turn summoned Graganith and we said goodbye. Game 2 in that round. Opening, he went first. He managed to get Darklaw and Macro on the field, which are two absolute bitch cards for me, but we worked our way around it. Got Yazi out on the field. Well, before I got Yazi out on the field, Phoenix winged his Darklaw away. And then got Yazi on the field, and it was just too much. He couldn't deal with it. Round 5 was the Nekroz, which I beat. That one was a very, very tense game. Game 1 he won pretty easily, but game 2 I got the Blader lock in. He did have Unicorn, he did call over a judge because he thought if I attacked with Blader into his Unicorn, when Unicorn was destroyed, Blader wouldn't get its effect. But the judge said it was Blader did get its effect, so he dropped the Valkyrus. Next turn he couldn't survive it. He got bladed he got Crimson Bladed. Then round 5 it was a bit of a slow one, but we eventually got there, and the judge was telling him he needed to speed up because we were right at the edge of time. And again, I had Ancient Sacred Wyvern out on the field. It was just too much for him because I just got him down really quickly, and that was it. He was done for. Round 6 of Volcanics. I did lose this one, but this was very exciting. Scattershot is a bit of a bitch, but it was, all 3 games were extremely tense, and we went into time, and he happened to pot Duality into Wildfire. He had Volcanic Counter Engrave. I had 2,000 life points, I had a Raiden and a Blader on the field, so I could have got away with the Raiden and then attacked with the Blader, but I knew he had the Wildfire and I just couldn't, you know, just couldn't survive it. I did have JD, but then I just would have been wasting the JD in hands. So I probably could have won that without the Wildfire, but that's just sometimes happens. And final round was another Nekroz deck, so I faced 4 of them. Round 1 again, I don't tend to do good round 1 against them. Oh well, sometimes it just, you know, when you face off against certain decks, game 1 is just a struggle. So he won that. Game 2, I got Graganith out, and you know, I'm saying it again, Graganith just got over his card, all his cards, because I was using Ancient Sacred Wyvern, was on the field. He had Unicorn, he just he did attack into it, special summon it, attack into it again, special summon it, and he just couldn't get with Castel. Next turn tributed it for Dragonif, and that was just that one I was saying earlier. It just had 3,500, and round 3 was, I could have gone for the first turn Blader. Game 3 could have gone for the first turn Blader, but oh well. Vanity's Emptiness is a thing, and I think that was probably my bitch card of the day, was Vanity's Emptiness, because when I played Nekroz round 5, I could have actually won on my first turn. He had no cards on the field except to set Vanity's Emptiness. I was able to get 4 Lightsworn in the grave on my first turn, had Lumina in hand, so what the idea was to go Lumina, Raiden into Ancient Sacred Wyvern, special summon JD. That's instantly game off those 2 cards. But oh well. Vanities is a thing, but we'll wait and see what happens to that next ban list. But I'll probably do a video on that in the future. I think that's about all I can really say for the moment. So I'll try my best next time. I do have a Nekroz deck in the works. It's mostly done, just missing out on the Bryanak. But we'll just wait and see what happens next time, and all going well, and hopefully I'll qualify for Euros. But we'll keep at it. But that's all for now.